Whether you're a small business or a publishing website, one thing that can make or break your business is your search engine optimization, or SEO for short. And the best way to optimize your website for SEO is by using dedicated plugins for your WordPress website. And in this video, I'm going to give you the demonstration or a complete demonstration of one of the best SEO plugins available for WordPress. All in One SEO. I'm going to go through the features, what you can do, how you can configure it, and all the amazing features that All-in-One SEO brings to you so that you can spend less time optimizing your website and get more traffic and customers and grow your business. So grab a cup of coffee, grab some snacks if you have to, and let's get started. Alright, so we're working with a completely blank website here, and the first step in using All-in-One SEO on any website is to install All-in-One SEO. So let's go through the steps of installing All-in-One SEO. Since we are installing the free version for now, All-in-One SEO has two different versions, the free version, and there are some upgradable paid options which give you more functionality. In the beginning of this video, or most of the lesson, I'm going to be sticking around with the free version as it's easy to install and get started, and I'll also talk about the premium features, and I'll show you demonstrations of what it can do so you can decide if it's something that you want to use on your website. So to install the free version, I'll go to plugins, I'll go to add new plugin, and on the plugin search option, this is the WordPress repository where you can find official plugins. I'll type in AIOSEO, which is the abbreviation for All-in-One SEO, and the search should come up quickly. And this is All-in-One SEO, the best WordPress SEO plugin. Let's install the plugin. Let's also activate the plugin. Once All-in-One SEO is installed and activated on your website, you'll reach the setup wizard, which is a step-by-step process on how All-in-One SEO actually helps you set up and configure most of the essential SEO settings on your website. I'll just show you the first step here. Let's get started, and I'll ask you basic questions which you have to just set up and allow you to set up basic settings on your website. Now I'm going to take the different route and not use the setup process or setup wizard because I want to give you more context on what we are doing, and that's what's important. The settings can be configured once you understand how to configure them based on what the information or what this setting actually means. So what I'm going to do is close and exit the setup wizard without saving. You can actually count in to share anonymous data. So I recommend that you click this, and once this is done, you'll be redirected back to the main screen. And once that's done, we'll start the process of setting up SEO on our website. Now, as you've already seen that All-in-One SEO is installed and activated, you'll see the menu entry come up here as well. And all of these settings are something that we should be looking at, but of course it can be overwhelming. So I'm going to tell you step by step what you should configure first, especially if you have a very new website like this is. So if you've just installed All-in-One SEO, similar to follow along the video, the absolute first step that you should be taking is actually connecting your website with Google Search Console. Google Search Console is a set of tools, or it was previously called Google Webmaster Tools, for website owners like you and me to help Google understand your website better. So if you want to use or connect your website with Google Search Console, what you have to do is go into General Settings, and inside you'll find Webmaster Tools. Now here you'll see a lot of different options to configure. So Google Webmaster Tools can be configured, Google Search Console, Microsoft Bing, Yandex, Baidu, Pinterest, Index Now, and Microsoft Clarity. All of these setups are actually very simple to do. Just click a button and you'll find a code inside the respective tool. So I'll give you an example of Google Search Console. Here I have Google Search Console open up since I just had a brand new account. As soon as I Google searched for Google Search Console, I click login, and this is the screen I reach. If I enter an example URL here, let's say, make sure to use the option in the URL prefix. This is the one we're using. If I say, hey, AIOSEO example.com, just keep in mind this is an example domain name. I'll click continue. And once this is done, it'll give me a verification code that I can upload to my website. So what I can do is just go to the HTML tag option here. And this is the HTML tag I have to copy. Once this is on my clipboard, I'll go here, click on Google Search Console, and it'll open up a verification code window for me. Paste it here, and automatically will be formatted to just the important code. Once this is done, click Save Changes, and within a minute or so, Google Search Console will verify that, hey, you have ownership of this website. And whenever Google finds new data about your website, that means what keywords are you ranking for, Are there any security issues on your website? Are there indexing issues on your website? Any kind of issues, then you will be able to start seeing them inside Google Search Console. Now, this is just a demo website, so of course, this will not pass through. But if you have the right domain name or you enter the correct domain name of your website and enter this here, the verification process just happens like that. So this is how easy it is to use all-in-one SEO. Just click a button, most of the things start happening automatically. Similarly, if you want to use other webmaster tools, Microsoft Bing, similar thing. Just go to Microsoft Bing Tools or Bing Webmaster Tools and then just paste the verification code here. Similar thing goes for Yandex, Baidu, and whatever other search webmaster tools you want to connect to. So this is the first step in setting up all-in-one SEO, setting up the webmaster tools for essential, I'd say, services with Google, Microsoft, and other tools. Let's talk about the next important step. The next thing you should be configuring with all-in-one SEO is the sitemaps. Now, you see the sitemaps option already here. It's very easy to actually go and configure, but let me just talk about what sitemaps are first. Sitemaps are like indices or index for your website. Similar to how you have indexes in a book so that you can instantly navigate to certain chapters, certain pieces of information. Google and other webmaster tools expect to be provided a sitemap to your website so that they can instantly navigate the content of your website. An index or a sitemap will contain all the different content or different pieces of content and what is posted and what structure they have on your website. And this helps Google Search Console and other webmaster tools quickly navigate your website and also provide context around what the topic of your website is. Now, with that description in mind, just clarifying, WordPress automatically creates a sitemap for you, but the sitemap that all-in-one SEO helps you create is a lot more configurable, gives you more control, is a lot more powerful. So that's why we'll configure the sitemap in all-in-one SEO. Now, technically, once you have sitemap or all-in-one SEO already installed, if you go to the sitemaps option, your sitemap is actually already created. You don't have to do much. It's basically done. And if you have a medium-sized website and if you have, let's say, 200, 300, 400 posts, most of the time you don't even need to change these settings. Everything is done for you. So the first thing you can do if you want to verify if your sitemap is perfectly done is just click this button, which will open up the sitemap. So if you click this button, it'll open up the sitemap. This is a brand new website. I haven't done much with this website, so there's not much content, but this is what you see. This is the XML sitemap. Now, one thing that you might need to do, which I won't be covering in detail here, is taking the sitemap URL and posting and adding it to your Google Search Console account. And we have done a video about this already. I'll place it on the screen. You can go watch it after this video. What you should be doing is taking the sitemap URL, adding it to Google Search Console, and if you're connected with other webmaster tools, connecting there as well. This will help Google and other search engines connect with your website, find out all the content you have instantly, and then you'll start seeing rankings if you have good content and authority on your website. So it's an easy and important, as a mandatory step if you want to see search rankings jump up. So make sure to do that step, watch that video after this video. But this is the sitemap essentially. If you close this, go back to this tab, enable sitemap is already enabled. So as soon as you install all-in-one SEO, the sitemap feature inside WordPress is taken over by all-in-one SEO automatically. Let me talk about some of the other features you have here. So inside the sitemap, we have another feature called sitemap indexes. Now, if your sitemap is thousands of pages long or thousands of lines long, it can be overwhelming for search engines to identify what content they should be indexing first. For example, think of this. If the index of a book is thicker than a regular book, wouldn't you find it hard? Then you would need an index for an index. And this is this feature. If you enable this feature, and I recommend, and all-in-one SEO recommends that you only enable this feature if you have more than 1,000 posts on your website. So if you keep this enabled, you have links per sitemap set to 1,000. So if you have more than 1,000 links on your sitemap, it will be divided into sub sitemaps. This is the feature. Then you can also include or exclude certain categories or post types from your sitemap. So if you disable this option, post types, you'll have the option of seeing different post types you have. So you can have posts here, pages here, attachments here, custom post types, and products if you have WooCommerce installed. And if you, let's say, for example, didn't want posts on your sitemap because you have a product selling website, your products, you can enable the products and disable the post. And for example, on your website, let's say you have a content heavy website, you're posting a lot of content and the pages are just about us, contact us, terms and service. You don't want them to be added to your sitemap. You can disable the pages here and only posts and attachments will go to the sitemap. Just for this example, I was just demonstrating it. I'll go back to the default section, and you can even do this with taxonomies. For example, if you have categories, product categories, tags and other taxonomies, you can select which of these taxonomies actually make it in the sitemap. So for example, if you have categories on your site and you use them for end users, that means you categorize or taxonomize your pages based on categories, you can enable this option. But let's say you use tags internally. So for example, you say, hey, update this post in 6 months. That's a tag you can have internally. You don't want them or these kind of tags to appear on your website or in the sitemap. So you can disable this sitemap. Then you also have date archive sitemap and author sitemap. If you use date archives on your site, author sitemaps on your site, you can enable these features if you think these are pages that need to go into the sitemap. So you see already you have so much more control over what content goes into your sitemap. This is just the tip of the iceberg. You can even go into additional pages and specify particular pages you want to have in the sitemap. For example, let's say you disabled pages from here, you didn't have pages here, and instead of the pages, but you do want a certain set of pages to appear in the sitemap. You can go and add the URLs here, and you can even set a priority here, which is so important so that Google can know that this is a high priority page. You should be indexing it more often. You can add a frequency here, so you can even have an hourly update. This will just be a directive to Google. It's not something that they'll completely agree with. That's up to them, but you can add this information to sitemap for Google to parse, and you can just add multiple pages, and you can even go to the advanced settings and exclude certain pages. So if you have, let's say, the entirety of your posts added to the sitemap, but certain posts are somewhere you don't want to have them here, you can exclude the post and even the taxonomies. And you can even configure the priority for your homepage, other kind of post types. It's a whole level of customization which WordPress, the default sitemap, is nowhere clear or nowhere I said near this level of customizability. So once you have the basics done, most of the time you won't have to worry about this unless you have a very advanced website, you have a lot of content and you know what you're doing. So in the beginning, what I will say is make sure this is enabled, make sure to check out your sitemap first, and more importantly, add your sitemap to Google Search Console and any other Search Console or Webmaster Tools you have added to your website, and search engines will thank you for that. Make sure this is enabled and configure it however you like. And this is how you configure sitemaps with All-in-One SEO. Let's move on to the next step. So now that you've connected your website with Google Search Console and other Webmaster Tools, and also included your sitemap and added a sitemap to those tools, and also figured out how your sitemap works with All-in-One SEO, now it's time to work on our search appearance. So we'll head into All-in-One SEO's search appearance tab. And what the search appearance tab helps us do is figure out and configure and modify and change how our website appears in the search results. Now this search appearance tab has a lot of different sections and tags. So I'll explain and go step by step and explain to you, talk about what those settings do, and also show you some of the examples on how you can understand what settings configure what options. Now the first option we'll configure is the title separator. I'll talk about that later. First we'll talk about the home page. Now what does this mean? Now this entire section, what you see here, the home page and the section below it, is related to your knowledge graph and the home page settings. So let's say, for example, your website is called xyzbusiness.com. When somebody searches for your brand name, how does your homepage appear in the search results? This is what you configure. And the best part about using All-in-One SEO is that you'll get a live preview here. So as soon as you configure your settings, you'll see a live demonstration on how your configured settings will make your website appear in the search results. Now, this is a demo website and a local website. So the URL is business.xyz, but I can actually change this to add anything I like. So how do I change these settings? This is the most important part. We have two options to configure: the site title and the meta description. Now you can set the site title in the settings of WordPress, but what you configure here is what else do you want to add here, right here in the search results or the settings here. For example, let's say if I go, I'll just skip this part and go into the WordPress settings first. I'll go into the general settings, and here you will see the business website, the site title and the tagline. So let's say if I say, hey, solar roofing, this is the title of the website, because let's say if it's a business website about a business that provides solar roofing solutions, and the tagline is get off the grid. All right, rest of the settings I'll leave it as it is. I'll just go here and save my changes. So Once you've done this, now we can go back to the search appearance settings here, and this will make more sense once you're here. So once again, we're back in the home page settings. So now you see more details here. What this is the live preview. Of course, the URL of the website is the same, but now what you see here is Solo Roofing, Get Off the Grid, which is a combination of the site title, the separator, and the tagline. And coincidentally, if you look down here, this is exactly what the default settings are configured for. So what these settings or the site title or these smart tags let you do is configure a template for your site title that how it will appear in the search results. I'll give you an example how this works. What I'll do is just delete everything here. And now you see nothing shows up here. This is just a preview. So if I now start typing anything, so let's say for example I type affordable solar roofing solutions for your home. So I can type this in, but if I want to include, let's say, my site title here, I can use smart tags. This is the best part. So if I want to add the site title here, I'll just click site title and instantly it's added. Now, of course, now what this looks like isn't cohesive because there's no separator between the actual site title and the tagline that I want to add. Now I've just written this kind of a tagline here just for an example. What you can also do is change the tagline directly in the WordPress settings as I just demonstrated. This is what I'm just trying to explain to you, how you can configure this in any way you like. So I added the site title already, but I want to have a separation between the name of the site and the tagline. So I can add the separator here. So as soon as the separator is here, you'll see the separator come up here. Now, this is where we can configure the separator as well. Let's say, for example, I don't like the hyphens as a separator. I want the bar as a separator. So as soon as I click on it, you'll see the separator changes. And you have more options to configure as a separator as well. Depending on, you can even set up a custom separator. For example, I'll just do this and you'll see this is now the separator. Now, usually the hyphens and the EM dashes and the bars are the more acceptable separators because this is what people expect to see in the search result. If you configure a custom separator, users might not, or maybe alarmed, or they might not understand what this is about because users behave in, or I say, expect something to see, or expect to see something that they are used to seeing in the search results. So stick with the basic ones like the hyphen, the EM dash, or the bar. So I'll just do this. And this is what the separator does. So instantly in a second, now you see the search results or the search preview of the home page of my website is completely customized. So I was able to not only add custom text here, let's say your tagline is different, but you want to add something else. I also configured the site title as my smart tags and also as the separator. Now you can add emojis here as well. You can add more smart tags. For that, what you can do is if you click the emoji icon, you'll see all the emojis available here. And this will also appear, or this will also be relevant when we configure other settings. But just to give you an idea, if your website is in a niche where having emojis in your titles makes sense, you can add emojis. And if you click view all tags, this will allow you to use and see all the available smart tags for you. So you can go right here and understand all the different smart tags available, which you can add, which will automatically be replaced in real time with the actual data on your website. So this gives you the option of having dynamic data as your site title, also combining dynamic data and static text, and also having an option of using any of these smart tags to configure your settings. And right now you can see the preview as well. So as soon as you make changes, you can understand if this is something you want. And you can do the same thing for the meta description as well. You can see here, this is the meta description, and this is just using the tagline. So get off the grid. If I want to have, I'll add the separator here again, and I'll just add a custom piece of text. So call us for a quote. And then I can add the separator again, and then I can add the site title. So instantly you see, I've just customized the entire search appearance of my website within a second. Again, in the meta description, I have the option of using the site tags, and I also have the option of adding static text. Now, one thing to keep in mind is this section right here. Since I have maxed out my characters, now you won't see an error if you have more characters, but your results might be truncated in the search results. So ideally, what you should not be doing is exceeding this limit. So I can reduce this to affordable solar roofing solutions for your home. I can delete this part, and now I'm well within the limits of appearing, or the entire text appearing in the search results. Similar to this, you can also, or you should keep an eye on the meta description as well. So once you configure this based on your settings using static text and smart tags, you'll have a beautiful looking or beautifully configured homepage, and then we can move on to the knowledge graph. Now, what is the knowledge graph? Let me just give you an example. I have this tab open. Let me refresh this. So if you search for a brand in Google, for example, our parent company of W Buchanan is called Automotive. If I search for Automotive, not only do you see something here, you also see something here, because Google recognized that this is a company or this is an institution, and then provides these kinds of results here as the knowledge graph. Now, this is technically called, or this is theoretically called, the knowledge graph result, but the knowledge graph is the knowledge graph, or the knowledge that Google has about you. But in usually conversational conversation, this is called the knowledge graph result. So if you want to configure this information, or at least provide Google all of this information about your business, you use the knowledge graph settings. Now, whether your website will appear in the knowledge graph results is something up to Google. We can't comment on that, and we cannot be sure of that when that will happen. But if you just do all the right things, it might just happen. So in the knowledge graph settings is where you configure all of these settings. So what is your website name? So then you can say, hey, Solar Solutions. Let's say this is a website name. What's the alternate website name? Is it a personal website, an organization website? So if it's an individual website or a blog, for example, I'm a fashion blogger, I want to have my own website, I can choose person. But if I have my company, I can choose this. Then you have write the organization name. So let's say you have an organization name like XYZ Solar Solutions Inc. So this is the legal name of your business. You can also, or you should add your phone number here and a contact type. For example, if you type in a phone number here, what is that phone number for? Is it a sales department, support department? Is it the number of owner? So you can select this here, and you can also manually enter the different team. For example, if it's a pre-sale team or like a technical support team, you can write it here, and you can also, and you should upload a logo here as well. So all of this information which you see right here, the logo, the name of the company, what the company is about, the URL, the founder, subsidiaries, all those companies, all these details are coming in from the knowledge graph. Now, what about the social profiles? I'll talk about that in a second. First, let me go back here. So all the settings that I showed you here should be configurable or easy to configure, just straightforward. There's no guesswork here. Just add this information, click Save Changes, and it will be provided to Google in the meta information or metadata on your website. Whether it appears in the search results is up to Google's discretion. Now, regarding social media or social media links that we saw here, what do we need to do about this? Then what you need to do is go into the social network section, and here in the social network section, you can add all of the social media accounts that you actually post consistently on. So if you have a Facebook page URL, just add the link here, the Twitter page URL, Instagram URL, TikTok URL, and multiple social media are supported. And if you use a new social media that is not present here, just post the custom link here and it will be added to your metadata. Now, what are these settings? I'll talk about this in the next section. Let's go back to search pins because this is what we're working with right now. What we've done right now is configure the homepage settings, so how your homepage will appear in the search results, and also the knowledge graph. That means how your company or organization is represented in the knowledge graph. And if you qualify, Google will also start showing your website in the knowledge graph. Now we'll configure the settings for our content. That means your post pages, archive pages, all the other pages. And what options and what controls do we have here? Let's go and find out. So I'll go down the content types. Now, you have posts and pages. Typically, every website will have posts and pages, and this is a demo website, so I have posts and pages, but you might have different kind of pages here as well. You might have landing pages, you might have product pages, other custom types of pages, depending on what your website is. So the settings I'm going to discuss will apply to every post type, including pages, posts, and custom post type. So no need to go into a lot more detail, just configuring here basic thing. So once the most important setting is this show in search results. Now this should obviously be enabled for most of the important content on your site. Do you want all your posts to appear in search results? Obviously yes, most of websites will do. So you keep it enabled. Now let's say for example you have a custom post type, For example, landing pages where you promote, let's say, a webinar where you want to show people how solar solutions can help them save a lot of money, but you don't want those landing pages appearing in the search results. So in that case, only for those landing pages you will say no. So those landing pages will not be added in the search results, or All-in-One SEO will configure that, or tell Google through metadata that, hey, don't index these kinds of pages in the search results. This is the importance of these settings. So of course, posts or in this case, the posts should be indexed. So I'll keep them enabled. Once again, we have the same set of settings that we configured for the home page. We have a preview right here. We have the post title, and we have the meta description. So similar to how we configure these settings for the home page, we can configure all of these settings here. The difference here being, instead of the site title, we have the post title. So if I create a post on my website, how solar can save you money, the sample post text will be replaced with first, how to save, or how can solar can save you money, and the separator and the site title. So the same settings apply here. I'll just give you one example. I'll just delete the post title here. How switching So I just hard typed the actual post name here just to give you an example. If you or whenever you create a post with that, if you have the post title added here, this is what you will see in the search results. Similar to this, you will also see the post excerpt here. Post excerpt is like the first 30 characters of a post. If you set this up in your website or in your post, this will also show up here. This is just sample data because you might have tens of different blog posts on your site. So switching back to the regular thing, I'll just add the post title here and go here and delete this content. Now, in most cases, if you're just building your website, you might not even need to change this, right? You just come here, you just verify that, hey, show in search results is enabled, the preview is okay, the website is okay, post title, separator, site title. Most common combination is the most, I'd say, acceptable solution for setting up metadata for post title and meta description. And similar to this, the post excerpt is more than enough. I just wanted to explain the features to you so that if you want to configure this, if you want to customize this, you understand how to do it. So this is how you configure the title and description for posts. And similarly, you can go into the pages section. And let's say, example, if you have pages just like, hey, about us, contact us. Now, about us and contact us makes sense to have in the search results. But let's say terms and conditions, let's say privacy policy, most of the time they are not something that you need in the search results. So you can just say, hey, no, I don't want these in the search results. And if you have using posts, let's say, for example, in any other case, just like I mentioned for your about us page and other pages, then you can just do the same thing. And similar to how we configure the settings in the post, you can also configure the settings for pages. So going here, inside the content type, we have posts, pages, and all the different post types will also appear here. You can configure the settings for them individually and customize them to your heart's desire. Similarly, we can go to taxonomies, and inside taxonomies, the default taxonomies in WordPress are categories and tags. But you might have different categories like products. If, for example, you're using WooCommerce to sell products, and if you have, let's say, landing pages, you might have another category. So similar to that thing that we just did, you can also configure the exact same settings for different taxonomies. Now, in most cases, having the taxonomy pages appear in search results makes sense. So you might not need to change this setting. But once again, it depends on your website. If you have landing pages, a separate category, you don't want them appearing in the search results, you click no, and that entire category will be excluded from the search results. And then similar to how we just showed you, you have a preview here. You have category titles and meta description. You can configure this with hard coding or smart tags and even add emojis here. This is this one reminder that emojis also exist, that you can use them. Similar to this, you have the same option appearing for tags. Do you want them appearing in the search results, the preview, the tag title, and the meta description? And one more option that we need to look at is the archives pages. Now, archive pages, what are these? Archive pages are author archives and data archives and search pages. Wow, these are the default archives. If you have more, say, categories or taxonomies on your website, for example, you might have product pages or product categories, then you might also have product archives. So for individual archives, you can configure the settings. What do you want to appear in the search results? Now, let's say, for example, if you're a solo website and you are hiring writers to write blog posts on your website, you might not need the author archives to be appearing in the search results because it doesn't make sense, right? Nobody's looking at who is writing the article. They just want the content. So in case case the post and the taxonomy is already enabled, you can go ahead and say, no, I don't want author archives to appear in the search results. So then Google will not index them in the first place. Similarly, if you're posting tons of content, most websites don't use date archives unless there's a specific use case for it, but you can just do this. And for the search page, it depends. So for search page, the settings are the same. You can decide if you want search pages to show in the search results. The default setting is no, and I'd say stick with that. For most websites, no is the default option. But if some page, some reason you want to enable them, you can enable them, and the same settings exist that you can configure how the search pages look like in the search results. Let's stick with the no here. Let's save our changes, and once it is done, we have successfully configured most of our search appearance settings. So that's how easy it is to configure the search or appearance of your search pages, not appearance for your search pages, appearance for your posts, pages, category, archives pages, homepage, knowledge graph using all-in-one SEO. It took a few minutes for me to explain the settings, configure them, but if you follow along, maybe in a couple of minutes, you have a great basis set up for how your posts and categories and taxonomies appear in the search results. And that's the power of all-in-one SEO. Massive, it makes it massively easy for you to configure amazing solutions for your website. With that, let's move on to the next set of settings we need to configure with all-in-one SEO. So now that you've configured most of the essential settings in all-in-one SEO, you might be wondering what more do you need to optimize to get higher search rankings, right? Well, the answer is you need to optimize the content itself, right? Because that's the basis of your SEO strategy. So let's use all-in-one SEO to optimize the content on our websites. So I have this simple blog post written down here, which is again related to solar regulatory landscape inside the solar industry. And it's a simple blog post, and you want to optimize this for best rankings, or at least increasing the probability or the chances of this content ranking higher or highest in the search results. Now you have two different ways, and I'd say two different strategies, or I'd say two different methodologies, or I'd say two different things you can do to optimize this piece of content. The first thing you need to optimize, which you need to pay extra attention to, is the headline itself, right? This is the headline, and most people will just look at your headline in the search results and decide if this is the right blog post. So your headline should be on point. It should be optimized for SEO. And of course, it should be optimized in a way so that users want to click on it and reach your website. So this is how, or this is where all-in-one SEO can help you totally to derive and write the best headline possible. So the first thing I want you to pay attention is here. Do you see this H icon with 40 out of 100? This is an amazing feature right inside all-in-one SEO. It's called the headline analyzer, and it's already analyzing your headline and giving you a score on what it thinks this is your headline worth, or what it scores out of 100. So let's click on it, and we'll see not only the score, but some recommendations on how to improve this headline. So you see, this is the score for this headline. So we are seeing some instant, or I say personalized recommendations specific to this headline. The word balance could be better. Uncommon words could be better. There's no emotional words, no power words. The sentiment is positive, and the headline type is general. So let's say, for example, if I'm looking at this blog post and I'm thinking to myself, hey, I'm writing a blog post about solar regulations in whatever country. How can I phrase the headline to be as exciting as possible while sticking to the topic and also having the right keywords in the search results, or in the headline itself? So let's say I rewrite this, and I have done no preparation. I'm just doing this in real time. Let's write a new headline. I'll say 7 important solar to know. Say solar roof. And let's wait for a couple of seconds, and instantly, boom. This is how powerful and this is how fast all-in-one SEO is. You change the headline, and I did no preparation. This was just on the fly. I changed the headline, and I'm already reaching 79 out of 100 scores, which is pretty good. And now the headline is a lot more powerful. It sounds better. It starts with a number, which is usually a good thing. And now headlines also on one more point. If somebody is searching for solar regulation, they can find this, or solar roofing regulations. They are much more likely to understand and connect with this headline and click through. And you see here, you'll see the previous score also available here. So you have all the headlines that you do as a record here. So you can understand if you're making progress. The word balance is better. You have common words here. You can improve this. There are no emotional words here, but still we are getting a pretty good score. So if you're happy with this score, you can just go with it. Otherwise, you can take it to 80, 90 or 90, even 100 score. That's completely up to you. You should find a balance that works for you. You don't need to spend multiple hours just fixing a headline. If you have 80 or 85 score, or this score is in the green, then most likely you're good to go. So this is the first way how all-in-one SEO helps you write killer headlines on your website. Now, if you want to write or optimize your content, the first thing we need to know about, or what all-in-one needs to know about, is what is the content about. That's the first step, right? Otherwise, all-in-one SEO can't predict what keywords you're trying to rank for. So the first thing we'll do after we've done this is actually tell all-in-one SEO about what the post should be about. And in SEO terms, this is called a focus key phrase. So you see, once I go to the end of the blog post, I reach the all-in-one SEO settings. If you see it like this, just have to expand it by clicking somewhere and it'll expand. You have all these settings, but the first step, the most important thing you need to do when optimizing your content is set up a focus key phrase. So if I say solar roofing regulation, okay, and I just add this as a focus keyword, I'll just press enter. Now, not only I'm getting recommendations about everything else, but based on the focus keyword, all-in-one SEO is telling me how I can improve my content. This is absolutely killer. And this is not the only key phrase you can add. What all-in-one SEO allows you to do is just click this button and open up the sign up window for SEMrush, which is something, or a tool we highly recommend. So if you want to have, let's say, more keywords appearing or more keyword recommendations based on real world data, all you have to do is enter your information here, the name and email, and you'll sign up for a free account for SEMrush. And once that is done, not only will you see this here, but all-in-one SEO will connect with SEMrush, which is one of the biggest SEO data providers in the world, SEO tools. They'll find all the relevant keywords and give you those suggestions right here inside all-in-one SEO, inside your website. That's pretty amazing. So once you do that, you'll see all these details here, and you'll see personalized feedback for all of these keywords as well. So as you optimize your blog post, you'll instantly see how optimized your blog post is for individual keywords. Now, that will be a little too in detail if I go that route. So what I'm going to do is take this particular piece of key phrase that we just added and optimize our content based on that. So let's look at all the different recommendations that we are getting. So the first recommendation is focus key phrase in SEO title. It's saying, hey, we're not finding this in the SEO title. Now, this might be a little confusing because we just added this. So just keep in mind that it's looking for an exact match. Solar roofing regulations. So I'll just change the focus key phrase to match it, because Google is smart to identify that regulation and regulation is regulation, the plural and the singular mean the same thing. So I'll just do this. Oops, sorry. And let's do that. And you see this recommendation is now fixed. Focus key phrase in meta description. So let's go to the meta description. Where is the meta description? It is right here, which is the post excerpt. Now, since I haven't set up a post excerpt here specifically, it's taking the entire blog post as the excerpt, which is too large. So we'll need to fix this manually. So what I'll do is do this, delete it, and type in something here. So I'll type in solar. So I've just written down a simple meta description off the top of my head, making sure to include the right keywords and also making sense. So if somebody looks at this, you can obviously look at the preview. This is similar to how you saw this. 7 important solar roofing regulations to know. Solar roofing, and you can see the meta description come up here. Solar roofing regulations can be tricky to understand and navigate. Let us help you justify and understand them with ease. Now, you might be wondering one thing, that we already set up these settings, the post title, the meta description already in the settings. Why are we changing them again? So here's how this works. What you do in the settings that we configured in the previous section is that you set up a template that all your posts can use. So if you have a good title, if you have a good excerpt on the page, if you have a good meta description, everything is already set up for you. So let's say you had 300 different blog posts. Once you configure the settings, all of these settings will automatically apply to all the different posts and pages and all the different post types. But all-in-one SEO also gives you control over if you want to customize them even further. For example, for this post, I had no excerpt, and what I needed to do was actually customize this. So even though I didn't change the post title settings, which are coming from the main settings, I was able to change the meta description for the post. So you get the benefit of both worlds. You get the power of customizing the settings for thousands of posts in one location, but you still retain individual control over customizing these settings here. That's the power of all-in-one SEO, and that's what we are doing right now. We're customizing and updating our meta description and other settings based on the recommendations we are getting, so that we have higher likelihood of appearing in the search results. So once I've done the meta description update, you see all of these are already done. Now, the next recommendation is key phrase in URL. So if I go here, I'll find these settings, and the URL is here. I'll go here and I'll just change this to essential solar roofing. So I'll change the URL to essential solar roofing regulations. It'll just go back to the settings here, and we'll find that that is also fixed. Focus key phrase in introduction. Now, what is this setting, or what is this recommendation? Google and the search engines and also people expect to instantly find the information they're looking for, and the most likelihood of people jumping away from your website is then once they click and they don't find, or they don't find the connection that they're looking for, to ensure that, hey, this is the exact post I actually was looking for. Think of it as buyer's remorse for search clicks. If they have a slight hint of, hey, this is not the exact piece of content that I was promised, or not what I'm looking for, they might just jump back in the search results. So you have to ensure that in the introduction itself, you're validating that, hey, this is the right post that you have clicked through. So you can go here, and instead of this introduction, which is a personalized say, hey there, eco warriors and future energy enthusiasts, let's peel back the layers on topic, blah blah blah. So we can cut this down and simply start with let me write down a new introduction for you instantly. All right. So within a second, I wrote a new blog post introduction. So instantly I started with, in this blog post, we demystify essential solar roofing regulations and how they can affect the pricing, delivery, and shelf life of your solar roofs. Now, I'm not a solar expert, so these I say interpretations or inferences that I've drawn to solar roofing regulations might be completely off, but you get the idea. Whatever the user is thinking, you have to validate their feelings instantly that this is the exact piece of content that will answer their questions. And not only will users feel welcome and understood, but search engines will love you as well. So instead of this blog post, or I say instead of this introduction, what we can do is just remove this. So I'll just click here, I'll just delete this post or this introduction, and now we have a brand new regulation here, or brand new introduction here. So going back to this end, now we have everything done for you. Focus key phrase density. Now this is the last recommendation here. And what focus keyword density means that, hey, you have to sprinkle your essential keywords throughout your post, just like salt way, so that it ensures that Google understands the context of the post. And what you can do is just figure out how you've written the content and make sure that your focus key phrase is added in a few I'd say key areas, so that this recommendation goes into the green. Now, all these recommendations are, again, not rules, they are guidelines or recommendations. So if you find a great headline that you know works well, but all-in-one SEO is telling you, hey, it's not suitable, you have to understand and make a judgment based on your experience and understanding. These are just guidelines and recommendations which will help you optimize your content. So even let's say I have written a great blog post and I think it's great, but it's not fulfilling the keyword density rule, then it's all right. You need to optimize everything to the 100 degree. Once you have done basic level of optimization, whatever you do after that will give you diminishing returns. So you have to be logical when you approach the optimization process on how much you need to reach or what score you need to reach to ensure. There are other factors in SEO that bring you results. So don't think just optimizing the content will just shoot you up to the first result or the first ranking in search results. But there is value in optimizing and learning the process, learning the patterns of what you need to do to write optimized blog posts. So what we've done right now here is absolutely easy to follow. What we did was we took a simple blog post, we went to the headline analyzer, wrote a beautiful new headline, more effective headline, and then added the focus key phrase here. Focus key phrase was added, the recommendations became personalized to the content. We added those, we changed the meta description, we changed the title, we changed the content, updated everything, and now we have a much more highly highly optimized blog posts. So initially the scores were 40 and something poor scores. Now we have 79 out of 100, which is almost close to 80, which is great. And then we have an optimization of 80 out of 100 here. Now, what you can also do, if you want to see the same recommendations here, you can go to the basic SEO action, and you also have title and readability, I say not errors, but I say recommendations here. So this was the focus key phrase related recommendations, but what you also want to do is actually update these, or I say look at these. So what are these? These are not based on the content and the focus key phrase. These are general SEO guidelines that you should follow on any blog post to make sure that it is optimized from a search engine perspective. So right now, fixing these already fix most of these. Now, what we need to change is add internal and external links. Now, this is again not a rule, but a guideline that, hey, if you have a great blog post, it should link to other blog posts on your site. So let's say, for example, if I go here and just do this, I'm just doing this without any sense, so just forgive me for that. I'll just add a link here, and let's search for URL solar, and let's find more content. And I found piece of content, open link in new tab, and done. So I just added an internal link to one of the other blog posts on my website. Similar, you should add to resources that you refer to if you're presenting research, and other websites, or let's say non-competing websites at least, you should link out to them. And instantly, once I added the link, you also see the score jump up to 83 out of 100. So I added an internal link. This works. Now external link can also be added. There are a couple of other things or other recommendations. Let's also look at them. So the title says, hey, focus key phrase in SEO title is done. Focus key phrase at the beginning of SEO title is also done. SEO title length is a little too long. So let's see if we can fix it. 7 important solar roofing regulations to know. Now, in this case, I don't think the title is too long. But so what we'll do is we'll take an educated decision, and we'll ignore this page analysis recommendations right here. In terms of readability, this is also very important. Now, what readability means? Of course, you mean, is your content readable and consumable, easy to follow? So here the recommendations are pretty simple. There are no images here. There are no paragraph, or the paragraph lengths are nice. Sentence lengths are a little long. We should optimize it for shorter sentences because people don't read every word. We are not using passive words. Transition words are fine. Consecutive sentences are fine. Subheading distribution is not good, and reading score is not very good. So what we need to do is optimize many of these things to make sure that our content is actually sticking out. So I'll start with images. So what I'll do is I'll go here and start adding some images. So I'll just go here, add an image block, and in image block, I'll go to upload. Let's see if we have options. Oops, I'll cancel this out. I'll go to the media library, and we don't have the option. So I'll just go to a stock website. So what I'll do is I'll pause the video for a second. I'll make most of these changes that recommendations are showing, simplify the language and make those changes. And once those are done, I'll be back. So let's pause the video right now. So I've made some changes to the blog post, and let me show you everything that I've done. So I added a couple of images to the blog post. I make sure the headlines were in place. I added links, and I also rewrote most of the blog post to make sure that it was friendly. Now, this is a more realistic scenario. So I haven't touched the 100 mark, but I'm still at 91 out of 100, which is amazing already. So this is just giving you a realistic idea that, hey, you don't need to touch 100, and you won't be able to touch 100 without actually spending a disproportionate amount of time, which is needed to optimize a blog post. So if I go to the scoring section, this is already what you saw here. Focus key phrase in image alt attributes. This I can fix. I can go and add alt tags to my images. This will improve this. But apart from this, you see basic SEO, everything is going good. Title, as I said, we'll ignore this recommendation because I think the title is good enough. And in the readability section, there are only 2 things that we need to fix. The reading score, I already rewrote the blog post, but I wasn't able to hit the perfect scores. And in the transition word segment, only 24% sentences contain transition words. I think the blog post is okay and decent. It's not a world-class Pulitzer Prize winning blog post, but it'll survive in the search results. So this is how easy all-in-one SEO, and this is how powerful all-in-one SEO is. It gives you exactly, or tells you exactly what you need to do to not only have search engine optimized websites, optimize your search appearance in the search results, but also write amazing content that can rank higher and attract more users. And this is just the beginning. There are more features inside all-in-one SEO that'll help you break the SEO game in your favor. So let's talk about some of the other more exciting features that all-in-one SEO presents that can help you better rankings. So after optimizing your headlines and the blog post content for SEO, time to do something very, very important, the SEO audit of our website. Now, if your website is already populated and you install all-in-one SEO, you might need to do this step first, or you should do this as a first step. But since this was a brand new website and nothing was configured on the site, I decided to put this section after all the other sections. So let's head to my screen and we'll start the process of optimizing, again with the help of a SEO audit built right inside all-in-one SEO. So inside all-in-one SEO, you might have noticed that there's an option here called SEO analysis. So if we go here, you'll see this screen. So let me just explain what this is first. And what this lets you do is it actually analyzes your entire website and finds opportunities for improvement with respect to SEO. So instead of going to individual pages and posts and figuring out where the optimizations need to be done, the SEO audit checklist will give you all those details right here and also provide you some other information which might not be present on individual pages and posts. You can also analyze your competitors' website here, and the headline analyzer that you already saw inside the blog post section that I just demonstrated is also present here. So if you just want to try out a few different headlines, you have the same options available here. Now, for you to use this, the SEO audit and the comparative analysis options, you need to connect with the all-in-one SEO account. Now, this is free to set up. Even if you don't have an account, you don't need to make a purchase. You just need to connect an account, because some of these services are hosted services and they'll need an account to set up. So what I'll do is click this button right here. This will open up the login option here, and all you have to do is either create a new account or register to analyze yours. So I'll just log in and come back and we'll resume the rest of the video. So after adding my first name and my email address, this is what I see. I didn't have to do anything. The results were automatically populated. And what this tells me is the entire optimization list that I should perform on my website. Now, some of these recommendations will be for the homepage. Some of them will be for other pages. But overall, or whatever you need to do to fix your site or increase the chances of ranking high in the search results, everything will be available here. You see the overall score, it's 56. It's decent. Of course, I haven't spent too much time optimizing the content here. So 56 is pretty okay. And if I want to, let's say, learn more about how to optimize my content and my website for SEO, read the ultimate WordPress SEO guide link is right here. If you click here, it'll open up the entire new WordPress guide in a new tab. You can consume the content and use the recommendations and use the knowledge here to optimize your website even further. Let's look at some of the recommendations here. You see the complete SEO checklist. You see all the items. So you see the basic SEO title. So this is analyzing your homepage for the site title, the meta description, the H1, and saying, hey, no H2 was found. This is not a red flag, but it's something that you should consider fixing. Then no internal links were found on a page. This is important, as internal links help promote SEO juice and also is good for general, I'd say, user experience. So if you just click the button here for expanding this section, you'll understand the details about this particular section. So it's telling you that, hey, you have no internal links and external links coming and going from your homepage, which is something you should technically fix. Then the same kind of recommendation you can find for advanced SEO. So you don't find any canonical tags. Your page does not contain any no index header or meta tags. So all of this can be fixed and updated with all-in-one SEO, and most of the sections or most of the things I've already showed you, you just have to go there and figure out and configure those settings and everything will work fine. The broad idea here is that everything you see here is very, very important to understand, and beginners or if you just built your website, you're not an SEO expert, you might not know any of this. Now, all of this is at your fingertips. You can learn from the ultimate guide and implement these things. Similarly, if you go to the important issues and recommended improvements and good results, these are just filters applied to the all item checklist. So if you just want to look at the issues, you go here. If you just want to see the recommendations, you can go here. And if you see all the tests that you have passed on your website, you go here. So this is how the SEO analysis and SEO audit helps you analyze and understand and update your website almost instantaneously and helps you improve your chances of ranking high in the search results. Whatever you see right here, you can also do for a competitor's website. So if I go here and let's say if I type in HTTPS, let's analyze wpbeginner.com. Let's see how it does. It'll run the same operations that it does on our own website and then give you the details. So if you have a competitor that you want to mimic and you want to analyze their skills or SEO, I say operations and how they've optimized the websites, you can just follow them and do all the recommendations similarly. So you see WP Beginner is optimized for 93 out of 100. It's pretty awesome, right? So you can see all of these things that they are doing right. And also this can be an inspiration for you so you can understand how it's going to work. So you also see the mobile snapshot. You see a couple of important issues. They can probably be fixed easily, but This is something really, really powerful and unique at your fingertips, and you're not paying anything for this. So it's very, very useful. Now, the headline analyzer is similar to what we already covered. So I'm not going to give you another demonstration, because I've already done an experiment and shown you how we can optimize the headlines using the headline analyzer. So this is a cool new feature, or cool, I'd say amazing feature inside All-in-One SEO, the SEO Audit and SEO Analyzer. Let's move on to the next few features that make All-in-One SEO a unique SEO plugin. So now let's talk about the next set of features inside All-in-One SEO that will make your life a lot easier. Now, just to clarify, all of these features I'm going to talk about, or the next few set of features I'm going to talk about, are all pro features. So you'll need to have a purchase plan and an active subscription to utilize your All-in-One SEO account. Let me demonstrate how to start using this. First, of course, you'll need to make a purchase on All-in-One SEO's website, and there you'll be have the option of downloading the Pro plugin for All-in-One SEO. It's a completely different plugin. It's a zip file, so you can go into your account and just download it from inside the account. So you click download AIOSEO, a zip file will be downloaded to your computer, and then also what you should do is to take your license key and copy it to your clipboard, save it somewhere on your computer, or you can just log in and refer to it once you have it. So once you have the zip plugin, we'll install it manually on our website. So I'll go into the plugin section, I'll go to add new plugin, and inside the add new plugin, I'll have the opportunity to upload a new plugin by clicking this button here. And I'll just take the zip file that I have and click it, leave it here. I'll install now. And this will install the Pro plugin, or the Pro plugin on my website, and the regular plugin, the free version, will automatically be disabled. So I'll activate the plugin now. So as you can see, All-in-One SEO Pro has been installed on my website. Now I also need to install or add the license key to make my installation complete. So what I can do is go into All-in-One SEO, general settings, and add the license key here. You also see the prompt here, but I'll just go here inside the general settings. And inside the general settings, inside the first option, I'll see the option of pasting my license key. I'll paste my license key here, click connect. And now All-in-One SEO Pro has been activated. And since the zip file I have is a little older and there's already been an update to the plugin, I'll also install an update to the latest version of the plugin, so that I can also get the latest features. So let me go back to the plugin section here and update the plugin first. I'll just click update now, and it'll be updated in a second, and then we'll resume the video. So All-in-One SEO has been updated to the latest version. Let's talk about the first amazing feature inside All-in-One SEO that'll make your life easier and improve your chances by multifold to get higher rankings in the search results. And I'm talking about the feature called Schema Markup. Let's take a look at it. So the Schema Markup feature is all inside All-in-One SEO, inside the search appearance, and this will bring you to a familiar interface. Inside the content type section, you remember we already discussed posts, pages, and how title and description settings can be configured for different post types. But what I did not cover was the schema markup option, because schema markup is a pro feature. So if you go inside the schema markup, all you have to configure is what type of post or what type of schema should go for this post type. So regularly, let's say if you're publishing blog posts on your site, then for post, the article schema type is something you should have. So once you've said this, you're mostly good to go. But there's more. So what I've done is on this website, apart from posts and pages, I created a new custom post type, which is something that you can have on your website. So you can have products, you can have pages, and you can also have recipes. This is just an example. You might have products or other type of posts. So inside the recipes section, if I want to add a recipe type schema, all I have to do is go here and select the appropriate schema type. Let's say, for example, I'll find a recipe, and inside the recipe, that's it. I'm done. I'll click save changes, and now whenever I create a post on my site, automatically based on the information on the post, the schema markup will be added based on the article schema, and on the recipe type post type, automatically information from the recipe will be pulled. Now let me give you a live demonstration of how that's going to work. So let's go to the post and all posts on our site. I'll pick one of the blog posts to start working. So let's take this one, what to consider before switching to solar energy. Now this is not a recipe blog post, but I'm going to just give you an example of how this works. So once you've updated the blog post, you look at the headline, you optimize the content based on All-in-One SEO's recommendations, you can go down here and you'll find all the settings here. So one thing that we can also cover or look at is all the different tabs here. So in this specific section, we're just going to work on the schema part. So inside the schema part, you already see that the blog post default options has been configured. So what you can do is click the edit schema button, and what you can do is customize the schema that will be passed as metadata. So if you see what is going in the schema or what is going in the name section of the schema, the post title. Can you add something? Yes, absolutely. Can you smart tags, emojis, and hard-coded text? You can do the same thing for the headline, the description, and the image as well. So image is usually pulled in from the featured image. You can upload a custom image and also add keywords. And once you do this, click update schema. So this will be updated. Now do remember that you are now editing the default schema graph for this post. So what we are doing is once this template has been edited, this will apply to all the posts on your site. So once you set up a template, like just in the demonstration, I gave you example of the metadata, this will apply to all the blog posts on your site automatically. And what you can just do is come here, click generate schema, and you also have tons of different options to configure the types of schema you want to add to this blog post. So many times one single blog post or a single piece of content might be or might have different kinds of, I'd say, schema types. For example, let's say if you're talking about a product review, it's also a review, it's also a product thing, and it's also an article. So you can add multiple types of schema right inside here. So let's give you an example. If I click plus and this can add it here, I'll add schema, and now you have the article schema and also the product schema on the page. So as I was saying, the product schema is now added. You can also go again and go to the generate schema option and figure out what different kind of schemas you want to add to the particular page, and just click, and all you'll be done in a couple of minutes. You can also go in here and add custom schema. So if you have a JSON schema specifically to your section, because the most popular schema types are 25-30 schemas, which most search engines support, but schema is a very vast language. You can have hundreds of different schemas. So if you want to have that, you can post the schema in JSON LD format and it will be validated for you by All-in-One SEO. Apart from that, you can also have a schema validation done. So once this is done, let's say you have created all this and you want to verify if the schema is actually valid. What you do is just click the test with Google button and it'll open up the rich snippet testing tool and it'll paste the code of the page directly here. You click test code and it'll give you simple, test results of if your schema is valid and what kind of rich results do you qualify for. So you can see I added the product snippet here, I added some other things. So of course I'm getting errors, but this was just a demonstration. With regards to the article schema, everything working fine. With regards to breadcrumbs, everything is working fine. So once again, the schema generator and schema creator inside All-in-One SEO are amazingly powerful. You create templates, you add multiple types of schema, you can validate a schema, and also double check and do all sorts of custom schema features that is just outside the scope of just this video. Just in short, schema is extremely powerful, and All-in-One SEO makes it extremely easy for you to have it the right schema on the right pages so that you can get the maximum benefits when it comes to getting the benefit of schema in the search results. Let's talk about the next exciting feature. So the next exciting feature we're going to talk about with respect to All-in-One SEO is local SEO. Now, if you have a local business website, this is obviously valuable for you. If not, you can skip to the next section. So what I'll do is go into All-in-One SEO, go to local SEO, and we're going to explore the options that you can configure for your local SEO. Now, when you just set up your plan, you set up your license key, you might see this. So just click activate local SEO and an extension of All-in-One SEO will be installed on your site. It might take a few seconds. So within a few seconds, as you see, local SEO has now been installed, or local SEO extension for All-in-One SEO is now installed on my website. All I have to do is configure it. If you have a local business, then you can follow along. So the first thing is local extension settings or location settings. What am I saying? Location settings. So if you have a single location, you can configure that. If you have multiple locations, you can configure that as well. So enable this is, I'd say, toggle button. If you click yes, you'll see more options pop up here. If you click no, you'll see different options here. So regardless of that, you can configure based on how many locations you have. So how do you display the information about your location on your website? This is an important piece of information to configure. What I'll do is just skip, or I'll say, let's first configure the default business options or business options, business information, and then we'll talk about this. So in the business information box, what you have to configure is what your business information is, right? So what's the name of your company? Let's say XYZ Solar Solutions. Upload or select an image. Let me see if I have an image. Let me just add this image for now. Type what kind of business you have. Let's say I am an employment, entertainment, food establishment, government, internet cafe, legal services, lodging business, self-storage, shopping center. As you can see, so many different options here. Now, even though this is a very extensive list of types of business you can configure, you might not be able to find the specific, I'd say, exact match to your business. In that case, find the one that suits your business the closest. So if I scroll here, the store also works for me. Then you can input an address, you can input a country. So I'll just put India and I'll skip the address for now. And in the address line format, what you can say here is address line 1, address line 2. So even though this is your technical address, what information you decide to show on your website is different. So I'll just put up a dummy address here. So let's say dummy office. So after I added this dummy address, I can also choose what information is visible on the page. So I might just have dummy office, that's it, nothing else. So this completely depends on you. If you want to have the state and country visible as well, so you can use this, and then when you add this as a block to your website, on your website, this will be something you'll use. You can also use the maps option to pinpoint or add a map on your site where exactly your location is, but that requires you to set up a Google Maps API key. It's out of scope of this video, but once you have an API key, you enter the API key and you can pinpoint your address with a map or with a pin, and then users can actually find you with the map. This is very, very useful. And then you also have the contact information and other tax information. You can also have a price information and area served. So just clarifying, contact information somewhere users can contact you, right? So it might be a sales support or it might be any kind of numbers. So adding this will add all of this to your schema on your website. So you will be appearing in local business results and near me results. All those kinds of results is where this information is useful in. So make sure to fill all of this information in, and your VAT and tax IDs, and also your payment indicator. The payment indicator is usually a range. So if you have, let's say, a restaurant, if you are a gourmet restaurant, if you're a Michelin star restaurant, you might be in the $3 sign to $4 sign range. That means a premium experience. If you're just a dollar store, then just go for this. Then the currency accepted and payment methods accepted are pretty straightforward. And area served is where, let's say, for example, you have a local business where you serve areas in 5-mile radius. You can just enter some of the areas close by. So this information will be used by Google to understand and show you in the appropriate results on the appropriate queries. So if you do this instead of this, go to this, you'll have some other settings come up. So what you can do here is set up permalinks, and so location permalinks. So you'll have different pages for different locations on your site. It's a little advanced, and we have done dedicated tutorials around this. For this video, what I'll do is just stick to the no option or the singular location. I'll click save changes. And now what I'll also do is give an example of how you would add this information on your website with the help of a Gutenberg block. So make sure to remember this. To add this block, edit the post and search for the AIOSEO local business info block. Now this is a very, very important feature, because there's not only this, there's some other features inside All-in-One SEO that we can utilize. So before we go to the opening hours and map section, let's try this out. I'll open a add new post, and let's say I'll talk about my business info. I'll just name it business info, and instead of the content, I'll just go for adding a block here, and I'll just type in All-in-One SEO. I'll type /AIOSEO. Now, this is again a big set of features that we can have on a website. And since this video is already too long, I won't go into the details, but you can see you can have a block with respect to breadcrumbs, the sitemap, table of contents, FAQ schema on your site, business information, opening hours, locations, location categories, and maps. So if you want to display the business information of your business on your website, or any post, anywhere and technically, just use the business info option, and then instantly you see the option available here. You can publish this, and similarly, whatever you have or tons of information you can have FAQs and all that information, all that good stuff. You have blocks with respect to All-in-One SEO that you can utilize on your site. So this is how simple All-in-One SEO makes it to add any kind of information. And once you, let's say you update this, or you have this on literally every post on your site, if you go here, just update the information, it will be updated everywhere. That's how powerful All-in-One SEO is. So apart from the business information, you can also add the opening hours, because this is very useful, right? If you're, let's say, you're a dentist, you don't want to be people inquiring your store or your, clinic when it's 12 in the night. So you can add opening hours here as well. So what you can do is, if you have, let's say, a 24/7 store, you can say no. But if you were not a 24/7 store, you can say yes. And then this option I already discovered. Then what you can do is just configure the specific times that you are actually open and when you are closed. For the labels, what you can do is open and close. You can customize the label, but more important here is the hours. So on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, what time are you open, what time you close? So let's say you're not open on Sundays at all, just do this. If on a particular day you're open 24 hours, just click this. Otherwise, you can configure specific times that, hey, I'm available from 9 a.m. to, let's say, 7 p.m. and that's it. That's how easy it is. And then you can also use 24-hour time format if that's something that you like. Otherwise, it's as easy to configure anything else. For the map section, I'll save the settings and also go to maps. Again, you need to have the API key entered here. If you enter the API key here, then you can go to the location section and configure the maps here. It's actually very, very powerful, but out of the scope of this video. Once you're done with the opening hours, we have already saved our changes. We can go back to this post and let's try and add another block on this page. And this time I'll search for AIOSEO once again. And now we have the sitemap and the table of contents, FAQ, and local opening hours. So if I click this button, instantly see all my local opening hours are also visible. And not only is this information visible on the front end of the site, that means for users, it also goes to the metadata of the site. That means the schema of your site, where Google can actually understand this information. So it's very powerful to configure all this stuff. So local SEO, and I already showed you all the different blocks. If I just go here once again, if I say AIO SEO, you'll see all the different blocks that you have available. You have local business information, local opening hours, breadcrumbs, HTML sitemap for all the content on your site, table of contents, FAQ blocks, local locations, location categories, and maps. So you can have all this beautiful information available anywhere on your site and all configured in a single location. So just go to local SEO settings, configure everything, and everywhere you want to have information about your business, you can add there and update it in real time. That's how powerful all-in-one SEO is. Okay, that's all about local SEO. Let's go and talk about some amazing extra features inside all-in-one SEO. So let's talk about the next exciting feature inside all-in-one SEO, and that feature is called redirects. So I'm also already inside the redirect section, and if you're using it for the first time, you might need to activate it, and again, a small extension will be installed. So just go through the process. I've already gone through the process, and this is it. So let me explain what redirects are first. So if you go to, let's say, for example, this is a post on a site, solar energy versus traditional power sources, and this is the URL. So business.xyz, solar versus traditional energy. This is right here. Let's say if I decide to change the permalink of the post to something different. So let's say if I go and say solar energy, energy. Once I let go, you'll see the URL being updated here. I'll update the post once, and you already see that redirections inside all-in-one SEO is giving you a warning that this will cause 404 errors on your website. So if I go back to the old URL, if I update and refresh this, you'll see that this is automatically redirected to a new URL. I'll just place the URL bar here on the screen. And this is where all-in-one SEO actually helps you by creating URLs and redirects already on your site. In a traditional sense, if this was not done, what would happen is you will have 404 errors on your website. And this is pretty bad. Let's say, for example, if you go here, and let's say if I try to type in random URL which does not exist on a site. So I'll just type in random something and press enter. And this is the typical 404 page. So if you change URLs and anytime changes happen on your website, this is what your users see. It's not a great look for you, and also you're losing out on valuable traffic. So in that case, what you should do is have redirects happening on your website, or correct the URLs that are broken with redirects. How do you find out if a redirect is required for a specific URL? You go into the 404 logs. So as I demonstrated right now already here, this is the kind of URL that you'll just do, and this is what all-in-one SEO will start catching on your site. So if I refresh this page, hopefully the 404 log will be caught already. So this is where you see it. So this URL, which is a random URL, I tried it twice. So you see, hey, 2 hits for this 5 seconds ago. And this is something that you already got, solar versus traditional energy. And this was a hit already. So this is the kind of thing you'll find here inside the 404 monitor. And what you can do is click add redirect. And you can just use this section to have, or you'll see here the old URL, just paste the new URL here and a redirect will be created. So let me go here once again on the post, just click here, I'll click and copy this, go here, paste the target URL, and all right, I'll just add the slashes as well. And I'll just click this and add redirect. and instantly not only the 404 error is resolved, you'll also see the redirect created here. So now anytime someone opens or tries to open the old URL, they'll be redirected to the new URL automatically. And this is how powerful All-in-One SEO is. It helps you optimize your redirects, helps you create redirects, finds all the problems on your site with respect to 404 errors, and then makes your users happy and also Google happy, because if your users are not able to find something or information that they're looking for, they'll hop back to search results and go to another website, which is a bad look for your website. So this is just a basic overview of how redirects work. Now All-in-One SEO makes it possible for you to configure, add, modify, edit, and then completely manage the redirects and 404 errors on your website. On to the next feature. The next amazing feature on our list will blow your mind. And if you have a lot of content on your website, this will save you tons of time. I'm talking about the feature called Link Assistant. Let's go to the feature and I'll explain what it is and how powerful it is. So inside All-in-One SEO, go to Link Assistant, click here. I'll take you to the Link Assistant. Now, what is this? This is your personal assistant that all it does is figure out all the links you have on your site, figure out all the opportunities for links you have on your site, figure out external links on your site, internal links on your site, what the websites are you linking to, all that information which is so hard to get manually and requires so much manual labor is all available to you at your fingertips with just like that. So let me give you a simple overview of what's happening. First of all, you'll see different tabs here. You'll also see this percentage icon, which is the index status of your website, because All-in-One SEO doesn't want it to use too much resources. It like sips a little bit of resources in the background to optimize and understand the content of your website. So my website is 92% scanned, so more links might be discovered. Here, what it's telling me, hey, 12 posts have been crawled on the site. 12 posts are often, because this is not something or not an actual site, just a demonstration website. There are 0 external links on my website, 1 internal link and 0 affiliate links. So entirety of my website's history with respect to links is all available here. I can instantly understand if I have affiliate links, I have how many links, and what links and what domains am I linking out to. All these information, or all this information is available here. Now, if we go to the links report, this is where the magic happens. What this does is give you detailed reports about what links are going and coming to individual posts on your site. So if I see this, exploring the cost of solar panel installation, a comprehensive guide. This is a blog post that's been published. There are no internal links. There are no external links, right? Outbound internal links. So what I meant is no inbound internal links. That means internal links coming to this post from other posts, and no internal links going out from this post. There are no affiliate links, and there are no external links on this page. But the suggestions is where it gets interesting. If we go to the suggestions options and we open this up, by analyzing the content of the website, by analyzing the content of the post, All-in-One SEO is telling us where we can link to other posts on our websites automatically. If you have managed a website, you know how important this is. So if I go here, it's telling me, hey, this is a line which mentions solar panels. Do you want to add a link to the blog post that mentions solar panels? Yes, just click add link. Yes, I want to add this suggestion, and well, done. In a minute, the link will be added on your site, and it's showing you all the different other phrases also that also mention this phrase. So if I say, let's say if I look at here and I want to add another internal link, I'll just click here. Yes, add the suggestion, and it's done. It's that easy. Again, coming here, I can see solar panels. I can see solar panel contributes to decreasing costs. I can add just like, it just blows my mind how easy this is. So by analyzing the content of your site, you'll look for All-in-One SEO, will look for phrases that can or match the headings or the content of other posts on your site, and instantly real time, not a real time, but almost real time, will tell you, hey, you can link from this post to this post, this post to this post, and just makes the entire job of linking internally on your entire website so easy. And you see all of these pieces of content, you have multiple suggestions. So on this post, I can see 9 suggestions. I can go here and see all the suggestions added here, and you can get detailed reports about inbound links, inbound, outbound internal links, affiliate links, external links, all that good stuff. Everything is available to you right at your fingertips, and this will save hours and hours, and it's hundreds of man hours, which used to take hundreds of man hours, now is done almost in real time with the help of All-in-One SEO. How much money does this save? How much time does it save? And how competitive or how big of a competitive advantage is this when it comes to your competition just doing this manually? It's massive. So this is just the links report. We also go to the domains report. So if you link out externally, let's say you have signed up for multiple, I'd say, affiliate links or affiliate programs, let's say for Amazon and ShareASale and other programs, what links or what domains are you linking out to the most? You can find the reports here, and based on that you can analyze that, hey, these are the most important links to a site, and once this feature is populated, you can also disavow links from a site. For example, let's say there's a very popular website which you have an affiliate relationship with, and suddenly either the business went down or they're hacked. Now what you can do is in one click remove all the links from your website regarding to that website. So this is the power of the link assistant in all-in-one SEO. There's so much more to this, but I'm just scratching the surface because I don't want to get into too much detail, but just giving you the power of how amazing this feature is. Let's also talk about one of the most powerful and amazing features inside all-in-one SEO next. So the next feature inside all-in-one SEO, which again should blow your mind, is called search statistics. So once you open up search statistics, you might need to install the add-on, and you might need to connect with Google Search Console first. Only then you'll start seeing this information. So once I've connected my website to Google Search Console, this is not a actual website, or in terms of this doesn't have too much content and it's not very optimized, but what you see here is something so amazing. You're seeing data from your Search Console pulled in real time and visualized for you. So what are the search impressions for your website? Total clicks, average CTR, average position, keyword positions, and you go to SEO statistics, search impressions, all this information for your keyword rankings, what keywords are you ranking for, what's the average information, what content is ranking, all of that good stuff that you'll have to go into all-in-one SEO or Google Search Console, figure out the right report to find, then visualize it and then analyze it. Everything is available on your website. You can change the period here, what period you want the data for, and you can also get recommendations about this, that hey, what post do you want to check out? And there's so much information here. Content preferences, what are the top pages gaining rankings, what are top posts losing rankings. This is so amazing because what it helps you do is understand trends on your website. This is information that even Google Search Console doesn't give you in real time, or you'll have to do some Excel wizardry to figure out this data. But all of this is available to you right here inside all-in-one SEO. What pages are winning, what pages are losing, mind-blowing stuff. It's mind-blowing stuff on how powerful this stuff is, and everything is available inside all-in-one SEO in just a few clicks. It still blows my mind that it is available for you, or it's available to us at our fingertips, all this powerful data. Now again, I can go into the details, I can talk about the detail stuff, how you should look at this information, what are the most information you should look at, and blah blah, but I'm pretty sure you already understand the power of this data. If you are running a website, and if you're running a business that depends on your website to get traffic, obviously it matters to you where users are coming from, how many users are coming from, and what pages are gaining traffic, because your business is dependent on it. So all this information relates directly to your business. If you have any questions, feedback, you like this video, we'd love to hear what you think about this video. Leave it in the comments, and of course you can like, share, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Refer to this video whenever you want to have, and if you have any topics that we should cover in our next few videos, leave that in the comments as well. Once again, you're listening to Yuvraj from W Beginner. I'll hope to catch you in the next video. Take care.